G'day, it's fugitive Australian journalist Shane Dowling from the website Kangaroo Court of Australia. Now I'm about to play a comedy video from the ABC, which shines a light on corruption in the federal government. But the question you want to ask yourself while you're watching is, why is a comedy show on the ABC better at highlighting corruption in the government than the old media such as 7, 9, 10, even the ABC shows like 7:30 Report or Four Corners? None of them have spent a great deal of time of shining a light on corruption. You know, they all should have had at least an hour program highlighting the corruption, because there's a lot of corruption there. Even if they did a program highlighting the positives and the negatives, although there's not too many positives from the federal government, who have been in power 9 years. So after 9 years, they can't even put up a program, an hour show, all the positives and negatives of the federal government to help voters determine who they're going to vote for in the federal election this coming Saturday. The papers could have done the same, and they could have had extensive stories on, you know, this is all the corruption. But no, if we want to know a collation of all the corruption, we need to watch a comedy show on the ABC. Now it's Paul McDermott who's done a number of shows. He's done a skit called The Rort is Right, a takeoff of the old show The Price is Right. Now someone put this on Twitter the other day, and I've copied it and put it on Facebook and YouTube, etc. But that's the key theme you need to, or key question you need to be asking yourself while you're watching it. We'll watch it in a second. But like I said, while you're watching it, ask yourself, why are the old media not even coming close to highlighting the corruption that comedy skit on the ABC has done? Now let's watch it now.
Welcome back to The Pork is Right, where taxpayers guess how much of their money the government has porked away, usually to their mates, often without the proper tender process. Janice, you've locked in these porks. If they run from the least expensive to the most expensive, you win the prize. Let's do this. Light up number one. $30 million for the land near Western Sydney Airport. Very nice start, Janice, very nice start. What's wrong, Janice?
Well, to be honest, I thought it'd be closer to 3 million.
They're hardly going to just pay market value, are they now, Janice? Let's move on, though. IT services next, Janice. Government contracts given to an IT consulting firm founded by Government Minister Stuart Robert. Do you know Stuart? Great fella. Do you feel confident after seeing the price of the land?
Really, I don't know, Mike.
Okay. Light it up, let's see. It's $37 million, Janice. Jumping ahead, let's light up female change rooms. $150 million on female changing rooms, Janice.
Well, I guess this government has got a women problem.
But most of it went to swimming pools in coalition-held seats, Janice.
I think I'm going to vomit.
But not in the posh pools, Janice. Don't vomit in the posh pools. What about water, Janice?
Thanks. Yeah, I could really do with a glass.
Janice, I meant water entitlements. Will they be less than the posh pools, more expensive than the IT services, Janice?
I don't know, Mike.
Remember, they were independently valued at $1.4 million. But the money did go to a company co-founded by Energy Minister Angus Taylor, headquartered in the Cayman Islands.
Okay.
What is it going to be?
Just light it up, Mike.
Let's see it then. $80 million on water, Janice. And it's not even sparkling water. The champagne of waters. Okay, now, we're going to jump ahead again. Beach Shack. Let's see what it is. $423 million, Janice.
For Beach Shack? What is even going on here?
It's not just a beach shack, Janice. There is a company in the Kangaroo Island Beach Shack entrusted to provide security and housing to refugees on Manus Island. And we all know how well that turned out.
Can we stop, please? I really want this game to stop.
Come on, Janice, don't quit now. If you keep going, you might even win a brand new car park. A brand new car park. $660 million for 47 commuter car parks nobody even asked for. 3/4 of them in coalition-held seats. They may never get built, Janice, but if they do, they will cost a lot of pork. So close to the end now, Janice. Will you risk it all, Janice? Or will you walk away right now with this envelope stashed with cash?
Where did that come from?
A blind trust.
If it means this game will end?
Don't you want to see if the carbon capture storage is in the right spot?
Honestly,
Whoa! Hands off, Janice! Of course the carbon capture storage isn't in the right spot. The right spot for carbon is wherever it was before it was dug up. This technology hasn't even been proven to work at a commercial scale, Janice. But how much money did the government waste on it? Let's light it up! $263 million! Imagine if they spent that money on renewables, Janice! Okay, final hurdle. As long as the money handed over to Hello World Travel is more than $660 million, you will win the grand prize! But remember this, their CEO was the Liberal Party treasurer, and they donated $200,000 during the tender process.
I really don't care anymore.
Oh, come on, Janice. Cheer up. Let's light it up.
What the?
Janice, you have won the big prize. Congratulations.
What have I won? A trip?
Oh, no, Janice, but you will want to get away somewhere because it's 3 more years of coalition rorts. And also, Australia has slipped 7 places on Transparency International's Corruption Index, which now means we are more corrupt than Estonia. Good on you, Australia. Well done. Oh, it's gone again. Not in the posh pools, Janice. Good night, everyone. Join us again on The Pork Is Right. Someone get Janice a sick bag.
Authorised by D. Illich, it's not a race Manly.
Now, obviously, it's a good laugh, but it's very factual as well, that skit. Now, why have the old media not focused on the corruption in the federal government? Because they themselves got their hands out and involved in the rorts. Now, the federal government has made Facebook and Google pay the old media companies tens of millions of dollars. I think it was estimated Channel 7 or 7 Network, was 7 West Media, the parent company, was going to get at least 30 million. And if they're getting 30 million, they've got 10% of the media in Australia. Well, someone like Nine, who apparently got double, would be getting somewhere around 50 to 60 million. And then you got News Corp, or even bigger again. Well, they'd probably get 80, 100 million. Now, that's just from the federal government forcing Google and Facebook to pay them, apparently for the news that they use. Now, that's not the only money they get from the federal government. News Corp got $40 million to promote women's sport, which there's no detail on exactly what they were doing with that $40 million. They get money for JobKeeper. Now, we'll switch over to 7 for a second and have a look at them. I know 7 West Media got something like 47 million from JobKeeper. Now, above 7 West Media is the 7 Group, the parent company. So if 7 West Media got $47 million, that means the parent company must have got a lot more. Exactly how much, I'm not too sure. Now, the big rort there is that the CEO of the 7 Group is Stokes, Ryan Stokes. His father, Kerry Stokes, owns it. But Ryan Stokes, his best man at his wedding, was none other than the Federal Treasurer, Josh Frydenberg. So you have to wonder if the massive fraud wasn't spoken about between those two before Josh Frydenberg left a huge gap in accountability in relation to JobKeeper. He left a big loophole, so the people who were claiming JobKeeper didn't even have to verify whether they were losing money because of the COVID. Obviously the JobKeeper was brought in because of COVID. Now, that is just 7 Network, and like I said, News Corp would be making a lot more than that. Once again, a lot more than 47 million. Now, Nine claim they didn't receive anything from JobKeeper, but where they make the rules is the chairman, Peter Costello. He has no shame. In the last few days, he's been photographed with Josh Frydenberg outside his the pre-polling booths, helping him get a few votes. Now, the benefit for Peter Costello is that he did have, and I think he currently still does have, a couple of companies that are involved in lobbying the government. And he made millions from the submarine contract that never was, because it was cancelled, and we wasted something like $5.5 billion on it. Now, exactly how much Peter Costello received, I don't know. And what about all other lobbying he was doing? He was doing that via company. He was in partnership with David Gazzard, who's a good friend of the Prime Minister as well. So you got all the media with their noses in the trough, ripping us off, ripping the public off, and then they're so lazy, so incompetent, so negligent. A comedy skit on the ABC has been shown to be better qualified, or putting in a bigger effort in highlighting the corruption before the federal election. Now, I think the skit might be a year or so old, but someone, like I said, someone has rebroadcast it on Twitter. Now, that really is a national scandal, and I suppose is even more support why we should have a National Royal Commission into not just the Murdoch media, but also the media overall. Other than that, you can visit my website, and there's also a huge reason why you should be supporting independent media, because you visit my website and it's probably got more corruption collated in one spot than any of the old media companies. And so if you do visit my website, make sure you sign up for the free email subscription, and you'll be notified every time there's a new article there to be read. And please share this video on Facebook, Twitter, etc. Other than that, thank you for your time and have a good day.